Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Let me know that you are here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Come on. Let's get ready. Not the window. Okay. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? Glad you guys are coming in. All right, let's kill this music. That's my church band. I love the way they play. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is the Self Checkout Show. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Pastor Will, and it is good to be back with you guys tonight. Give me 1 second because you know what? It's warm in here. I had to turn that fan on. turn a little air on over my head because I get a little warm here. I think I clicked it too many times. We got to do something about that. Hey, my friend, my new friend, Rodney Jones, whom I had the pleasure of meeting this past Saturday. I'm going to talk about Saturday in just a few minutes. So glad to have you on sharing with us tonight. We will definitely let the people know who you are and what you do. All right, you guys that are here, thank you for tuning in. Of course, Facebook, YouTube Live, Twitter. Thank you all, wherever you're watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad to have you tonight. And of course, always, our replay viewers. We appreciate you just as much. Thank you as well. Yes, yes, yes. So we are back tonight. Of course, it's not Wednesday, obviously. It is Monday night. You guys are not used to seeing me on a Monday night, but my schedule this week is crazy and all over the place. Happy Monday, Lauren. Good evening. Good evening. My schedule this week is everywhere. So I said I had to find a day that I could come on because I don't want to miss. So tonight is the night, and we are here on a Monday night, and we're happy about it. So we won't see you guys after tonight. We won't see you again until next Wednesday, when we'll be back on our regular night. And next Wednesday, we are going to be talking about dreams, people that dream and have prophetic dreams, and people that have the gift of interpretation of those dreams. We're going to be talking about that next week. That was a subject that I was asked to deal with on the show, and we're going to deal with it. My boy, Pastor Gregory Huggins Jr., how are you, sir? The award received. Oh, stop it. Good evening. Good evening. Man, yes, as you guys know, if you follow me, Charlotte Williams, good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you guys follow me on social media, you saw that on this past Saturday, Pentecostal Church of Holiness, along with Apostle Sean Johnson and Lady Natalie Johnson, hosted a Kingdom Builders Luncheon. And there were 4 individuals that were selected to receive. Hey, Nene, how are you, my love? There were 4 individuals that were selected to receive an award for various positions and jobs, if you will, in the kingdom. Yes, thank you so much. It was, when I tell you, it was such an honor. I really, really, my cousin, Bishop Johnny Marshall, is on with us tonight. Oh man, y'all wearing me out, making old man feel good tonight. I received the award for evangelism, and it was such an honor. And they cited this show, the Self Checkout Show, as being inspirational and encouraging, and and I really, I'm so grateful for that, because that's what we try to do here on this show. I don't care what nobody else does. When you come to the Self Checkout Show, we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh, and we're going to have some good conversation, and we're going to have some inspiration through by way of the Word of God. and it was an honor. I've been doing this ministry for 28 years now, and I've just been doing this show for a little bit over 2 years. And man, we are so grateful. It's all right, Bev. I will always be your elder T. That's all right with me. And my new friend here, Rodney Jones, Sunday School, as you can see, if you can put one of his comments up, Charlotte, he also was one of the recipients of the Kingdom Builders Award. And this guy, man, Rodney, I told my Sunday school, we have virtual Sunday school and we have it on Mondays. It's called Sunday Monday School. I believe that's right. But I told her yesterday about you and who you were and what you do. And I told her that I was going to connect her. It's two of them. I was going to connect them with your YouTube page. If you all, whatever church you're from, if you are in Sunday school, if you have Sunday school, or if you don't have Sunday school and you want to be a part of it, you need to go to Rodney Jones Sunday School on YouTube. You could also follow him on Facebook. Pastor Jones, I don't know if you're a pastor, but Rodney, if you could put up in the comments your YouTube URL or link, then that way people can connect with your YouTube. I subscribe to his YouTube and he subscribed to mine as well. And I want you guys to go to his YouTube page and subscribe also. Evangelist Tanya Cuffey is with us tonight. Oh my goodness. Oh man, so glad to see you, Evangelist. We miss you. We miss your show. Singled out for this moment in time. I hope you come back and say something to us soon. Bev, our Sunday school that we have on Mondays, it's at 6 p.m. 6 or 6:30. Charlotte, you can correct me. I believe it's at 6 p.m. But we have it, it's virtual and all are welcome. You don't have to be a member of my church. Anybody is welcome to join that. And it is virtual. Thank you, Charlotte. It is at 6 p.m. Bev, I will make sure you have that information. So yes, we're back. We're here on a Monday. I'm glad to see you guys. Thank you all. If you all would be so kind, because we know how the algorithm of Facebook works. And I need you guys right now, every one of you viewing, I need you to hit that heart button and the thumbs up button for me right now. Do it quite a few times because we want to stay in the people's ear on Facebook. And the more you heart and like and hug while we're talking, the more we can stay in that algorithm. Help us to do that. Anytime you hear something tonight that strikes your spirit, that stirs your spirit, that you're encouraged by, that you're inspired by, we want you to hit that heart or like button. Yes, yes, yes. Sandy Baldwin. All right, Sandy, how are you? I know you got to be feeling good after yesterday. We had an amazing time at our service yesterday. And Sandy, how they used to say, Sandy, cut a rug on yesterday. Sandy, I saw Pastor John go and dance with you. I couldn't. I was literally stuck. I was stuck. I mean, y'all, I was so messed up yesterday. I could not move for a little while. I cried until my head hurt. Worship was so heavy. It was absolutely amazing. Good evening, Brenda. My girl, Brenda. Yes, SDMI is representing tonight. So glad to see you guys. Yes, Charlotte, those songs tore us up, y'all. I'm talking about every man for himself. It was just like an audience of one with just me and God, and that's just how it felt. And I love those moments like that. Hey, I'll call you Ruby since you Ruby on here. I will call you that. How you doing? So glad to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, guys, announcements. Let's get our announcements out the way. This Sunday at my church, I don't know, everybody's having different things, but this Sunday at my church, SDMI Church Oakbrook and SDMI Church North Shore, we will be taking Sunday to appreciate our leaders, Drs. Curtis and Linda Stennis, in both services at our 9 a.m. service here in Oak Brook, Illinois. And then we're going to travel about 40 minutes up the road to Kenosha, Wisconsin, where we have our second location, our North Shore Church, and we're going to be there at 3 p.m. And in both services, we're just going to celebrate and appreciate our leaders. And we're going to talk a little. Well, it is October. October is Clergy Appreciation Month. So it's not just for senior pastors. I'm not a senior pastor. I'm an associate pastor, but it's for us as well. It's for everybody who is a clergyman or a clergywoman. We salute you this month. It is Clergy Appreciation Month, and it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October is Clergy Appreciation and Breast Cancer Awareness. So we want to say to each and every one of you who have battled breast cancer and have beaten it, we salute you and we thank God for your victory. And those of you that are battling it right now, we are praying for you that you too will overcome that breast cancer, and you too will gain the victory over that. I need somebody to believe that with me. We're going to declare that. Even on our Facebook page, we're going to declare that we're believing God for victory for those of you who are fighting and battling breast cancer. I need you to know that God is greater than breast cancer. God is greater than any sickness, than any illness. He is the ultimate God, and he can do anything but fail. And that includes he can beat breast cancer. That's right. My friend Darnett, so glad to see you tonight. So also, today is World Mental Health Day. Today is World Mental Health Day. And, you know, there used to be a stigma. Renelle Lee, oh my goodness, y'all making me feel good tonight. That singing singer, Renelle, so glad to see you, my friend, on tonight. You know, today is World Mental Health Day. And I am deeply glad. Sister Christine Brown, how are you, my friend? I love you. That's my other godmama, y'all. I'm glad to say that on this Wednesday, I had went a little bit, but I stopped going. But this Wednesday, I am going back to therapy. Yes, I am. I'm going back to therapy. There used to be a stigma around people saying that they're going to see a therapist or they need counseling, you know, because people would, back in the day, it's like, oh, you must be crazy or something wrong with you in the head. No, ain't nothing wrong with nobody in the head. Sometimes you need therapy or counseling, and it's okay to have Jesus and a therapist. Hear that? Yeah, it's all right. So that's going to be me. I'm going back to my therapist this coming Wednesday, and I'm excited about it. But in relation to World Mental Health Day, some of our celebrities, y'all, Christine says she goes to therapy too. That's great. That's great. That's good news. That is good news. And there's nothing wrong with it. Some of our celebrities are battling mental health issues. We're not going to talk about Kanye because that'll take all night. That he needs medicine. But that's not what we're going to talk about. Another celebrity over this past weekend has shown that he needs some mental health help. And that is Ray J, you know, Brandy's brother. Brandy, according to the New York Post, Brandy posted a sweet tribute to her brother on social media after he shared a series of concerning posts about his mental health. She says in a tweet, "I need you, bro." Ray J, who is her brother, she said that to him on Twitter, and friends and fans flooded the comment section with supportive messages and the prayer hands emoji. Ray J sparked worry on Thursday night last week when he posted and deleted videos of himself that appeared to reveal that he was struggling with suicidal thoughts. Look at what he said. He said, if, mind you, he's rich, famous, on TV, loving hip hop, got a few albums, you know, he's known for other things. Well, we won't talk about that on this show. He says, if it wasn't for my kids, I would jump off and die tonight. Wow. And he has 2 kids, one 5-year-old daughter and one 2-year-old son. He then wrote over a video of himself with his feet dangling over a ledge saying, should I just jump off and end it right now? My goodness, man, these folks, listen, you can have all the money in the world and have no peace. What a horrible life. What a horrible life. To have all the money you ever thought you want, all the fame, all the fortune, the mansion, the cars. You can have, yes, he does need some help. You can have all of that, y'all, and have zero peace. When your mental is messed up, money means nothing. Money means nothing if you're ready to off yourself. He was about ready to jump off a building to end it all. If you've been keeping up with pop culture and with the Kardashians, then you know that some things have been going on with him and their mom, and of course him and Kim, and it's just a lot going on, but no peace of mind. Let me tell you something. I'd rather have nothing with my mind, with my right mind, than to have everything and I'm losing it. Come on, y'all. Absolutely, Renelle. That's it. What does it profit a man? The Bible says, come on and help us talk tonight. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Yes. Seeing a therapist is not taboo. It's not now. Thank God, Sandy, it's not taboo now. It used to be, especially in the African-American community. But it is not taboo now, and we're glad about that. So our prayers do go out to Ray J. He is, I actually follow him on Twitter, and believe it or not, he follows me as well. So I am praying for him that he gets the help that he needs. Yes, indeed. So in other news, what's going on tonight? I told y'all it was World Mental Health Day. So how many of you have watched on Netflix this show called Inventing Anna? I need to know if you ever saw that series on Netflix. Put in the comments, yes or no. If you haven't seen Inventing Anna, you need to start it. I'm hoping that it's still on Netflix. It was a wild, wild ride. Inventing Anna. Well, she made headlines in 2018 after Anna Delvey is her name. Anna Delvey made headlines in 2018 after she was arrested. Y'all ain't seen it? You got to watch it. Inventing Anna. You have to watch that on Netflix. Lauren, I was happy when I saw that, but he does follow me. Anna Delvey made headlines in 2018 after she was arrested for posing as a German heiress and swindling banks, hotels, and many, many individuals out of over $200,000 plus. And in the Shonda Rhimes produced this show, Inventing Anna. It came on Netflix in February, and we got to watch this con artist at work, because that's exactly what she was. Now, she was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison, but now she is out of jail. She is out of jail. They won't allow her to post anything on social media, and there's a possibility that she might go back to jail or for something having to do with deportation or something like that. But my goodness, I said they let this girl out of jail. Woo! Y'all need to. Sandy ain't seen it either. Brenda haven't seen it. Oh Lord, y'all got to do better. You have to watch Inventing Anna. It is on Netflix. So she was actually released on parole in February last year, 2021, but she found herself in the custody of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, for overstaying her visa. So she was messed up all the way around, but she's finally out of prison, won't be posting anything on social media right now. And I, for one, cannot wait until they allow her to post, because I want to see what she's posting. One of my cruise mates is on here tonight, Michelle Bell. So glad to see you. Yes. It's called Inventing Anna. Charlotte, if you could put that in the comments and put it on the screen. Y'all, this show was crazy. This girl, she really, honestly, she was a nobody who came up with this fake life, like she was a German princess or a German heiress. Like she just had everything, and she swindled these people out of so much money. And the series was amazing. It is like edge of the seat. Keep you on your toes to see what's going to happen next. So absolutely, yes. Inventing Anna is the name of that series. So that is what's going on today and what's trending in current events. So guys, I want to chat with you for a few. I want to ask you a question. Yeah, Michelle, it was really good. I want to ask you a question. How many of you right now can say, you remember when we were kids and your parents or your teacher would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? How many of you can say that you are actually doing right now what you said you wanted to do or be when you were a little kid? I, for one, can say no. I'm not doing what I thought I was going to be doing. I wanted to be a prosecuting attorney. I did political science in high school. We had the mock trial, and of course I won. Yes, I did. But I am obviously not doing anything nearly remote to being an attorney or in political science. I work for a financial institution, the largest financial institution in the country, and I do some amazing things with them. It's not on there anymore. Oh Lord, Nancy. Okay, Nancy said it's not on there no more. They must have retired it. Yeah. So Michelle says, no, I'm not, but close. I wanted to be an attorney, but instead I work for them. Okay, so you still close to it. Lanice said, I'm not. I wanted to be a lawyer, then a judge. Okay, so I'm not by myself then, because we got a couple of people who wanted to be an attorney. Bev said, did what I said and retired from it now. So you actually got to do what you initially said you wanted to do. Christine said, no. Sandy said, I had plans to be an architect, but that didn't happen. So it looks like the majority of us on here, with the exception of Bev, did not go into the field that we thought we would end up in. And let me give you one possible reason why that could be. And I want you to think about this. Even though Lauren says she wants to be a marine biologist. Woo-wee. That's where all the money is right there. Let me ask you this. Is it possible that even though we wanted to be in certain fields or have certain careers, is it possible, do you think, that God had a different plan for us? Think about that. As bad as Man, in high school, I just knew it, especially after I won that mock trial. I just knew I was going to be a prosecuting attorney. But it turns out that I work for a financial institution and I work. Yeah, see, Christine said yes. Michelle said absolutely he did. He had a different plan. Yeah, and he had a different plan for me also. I worked for a bank, and I obviously ended up being a minister of the gospel and in the church. That was not my intention at all. Trust me when I tell you. But my point is that even though we have plans for ourselves, oftentimes, and we may not see it at that moment, but oftentimes God has a different plan for us. And that's what we want to talk about a little bit for just a few minutes tonight. Okay, Sandy said she became a legal assistant, lived and worked in downtown Chicago for many years. Sandy, I worked downtown Chicago for so many years until I jumped at the chance to to transfer to Elgin. I got tired of downtown. Believe it or not, as beautiful as Chicago downtown is, I got tired of it. But we're going to chat for just a few minutes. Michelle also said he's been changing me over and over again, going through things, but being patient now for the process. You know what? And that's what it's all about. That's what, and we're going to talk about that in our little chat tonight. That is so true. God orchestrated it all, said Sandy. So let me give you this. We're talking tonight about God's plan because we have plans of our own, right? But of course, God's plan tops or trumps our plan any day, right? So in the Message Bible, our main verse comes from Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse number 11. And usually when people hear this or when people recite this, you know, it causes this excitement, this whatever you want to call it. People get excited when they read this and hear this. I like the Message Bible version. It says, this is what God is saying in that verse. He says, I know what I'm doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not abandon you. Plans to give you the future you hope for, right? So the King James version of that verse, which is what most people are used to, it says, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And boy, people will get all in an uproar about that because that's good news, right? And you should get excited about it, about that news that God himself is saying. He's like, hey, I got you. I got your back. I got plans for you. And they are good plans. They're not going to harm you. They're not going to hurt you. And it's going to bring you to the future that you hope for, which is why I asked that question a few minutes ago. Did we end up doing what we said we wanted to do as a kid? No, God had different plans. And sometimes his plan takes us on a whole nother journey, right, than we thought that we would take. And his plan, God's plan, sometimes takes a lot more time than we anticipated. That's right. That is right. Now, here's why I say that. Jeremiah chapter 29, and that verse number 11, you know, it obviously it's God saying, I got plans for you and all that. For I know the plans that I have for you, blah, 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 all that it says. But I want you to know something, that before you get to celebrate verse number 11, we got to go back. We got to go back, and I'm just gonna read a little bit, because before they got to verse number 11, God blew their minds, and not in a good way. They were not happy people, because he said to them, a part of my plan to the people of Israel, to the Jews, is for you to go into captivity. What? Are you serious right now? This is a part of your plan for me to be captive, to be held captive in Babylon? That couldn't be your plan. And think about this. I want you to put something on your mind. I want you to think about this. Some of the things that you have gone through, believe it or not, some of the most hurtful things, some of the most painful things, believe it or not, is a part of God's plan for us. Because we want to enjoy all the sunshine. Of course we do. But you have to know that every now and then there's going to come some rain. And the rain, it's those moments in our lives where we have to hurt, where we have to suffer, where we have to just go through dark periods. But you have to believe that that is a part of God's plan for us. Let me show you what I mean. In verse number 4, he has Jeremiah the prophet to write a letter, and this letter was mainly for leaders of the Jews that were remaining from the people of Israel. He says in verse number 4, this is the message from God of the angel armies, Israel's God, to all the exiles I've taken from Jerusalem to Babylon. Watch what he says. In Babylon, held captive. Look at what he said in verse 5. He said, build houses and make yourselves at home. Wait one cotton picking minute. Nini said, that's the part I'm struggling with right now. Okay. So I pray that you get an answer in this tonight. He says, now that you're captive, I've allowed it. God allows it. I can hear Dr. Linda saying, how can we be mad at what God allows? But if we tell the truth, sometimes we do get a little upset at it, right? We know it's God's plan, but we don't like it all the time. So God allows them to go into captivity in Babylon. And then he says, build houses and make yourselves at home, because partner, you're going to be here for a while. Oh, yeah. How long are they going to be in captivity? 70 years. 70. 70 years. He was going to allow them to be in bondage in Babylon. So he said, y'all might as well get comfortable, take your shoes off, build you some houses, and chill, because you're going to be here for a good while, right? He said, put in gardens and eat what grows in that country. Marry and have children. He said, this is a Message Bible version. Encourage your children to marry and have children so that you will thrive in that country and not waste away. So this part, he's saying, I want you, since you're going to be there, this is a part of my plan. I want you to get comfortable while you're in an unfamiliar place. Ooh, know how hard that is? Do you know how hard it is to listen? I have a hard time if I visit someone for the first time. I have a hard time being really comfortable, even if I know that person. If it's my first time visiting their home, I'm not as comfortable as I would be in a more familiar place, right? So he says, I want you to be comfortable in this unfamiliar place, in this place where you're captive, in this place where you are in bondage, you are exiled. I want you to build houses, grow some gardens, eat that food, have some children. And when your children get grown, tell them to have some children, get married, make yourself at home. You're going to be here for a while. He says, and watch this, in verse number 7, he says, make yourselves at home there and work for the country's welfare. Then he says, get this, pray for Babylon's well-being. You gotta be kidding me right now. Like, God, are you serious? Have you ever asked him that, like, Lord, are you for real right now? You really, this what we doing? I know I've had to ask him that. I had to say some things like that to him. He said, pray for Babylon. Pray for their well-being. If things go well for Babylon, things will go well for you. Now, this sounds like God. I'll tell you why. Because he's saying to them, to the Jews, he's saying, if you do what I tell you to do and pray for the people that are holding you captive, pray for that land. If the land prospers, you prosper in the land. Rewind. Pray for Babylon. Pray for the land, because if the land prospers, even though you're in captivity, even though you're in bondage, if the land prospers, you prosper in that land. So what does this mean? This means that in our most uncomfortable state, in our most unfamiliar place, in the midst of all of our pain, all of our suffering, all of our struggles, God's plan is for you to pray. Pray. You got to pray your way through stuff. And especially if you are in a predicament for a while. Some of you may find yourself in a predicament, in a circumstance that you've been in for quite some time. Come on, depression doesn't just come and go in 3 days, right? Sometimes that thing lingers. Physical ailments in our bodies, COPD and diabetes, that stuff, it does not just come and go like a storm. It stays, it lingers. And God said, in your most painful state, I need you to be focused enough to pray, even though you're hurting, even though you're in a place that you don't want to be. And some of you listening to me right now tonight, you are in a place that you know you don't want to be. And it's like, God, when are you going to allow me to come out of this? But God has a plan. Kimmy, so glad to see you. She says, so true, so true. You got to pray yourself through for a minute. Absolutely. Because we get in situations and sometimes our heart hurts. Come on, y'all. Can we be honest and say sometimes we hurt, our hearts are hurting for whatever reason? But we have to learn how to pray even in that uncomfortable state. So he says to them, even though the Babylonians are holding you captive, pray for them, pray for the land so the land prospers. And if the land prospers because you are my people, even though you're in bondage, I allowed it. If that land prospers, you are going to prosper in that land. We have to, Renelle, we have to learn how to trust the plan of God. We have to learn how. Listen, a part of God's plan and one of the fruit of the Spirit, y'all, is long suffering. We don't like that part. And no, we're not supposed to, honestly. We're not supposed to like to suffer. We don't. But it's a part of the plan of God. Long suffering produces patience in us. Right? It produces patience when you trust the plan of God. Long suffering produces patience. Bev says, once you learn how to pray, the right things in your life will change. Absolutely. Absolutely. It will change. But it not just through prayer, but you have to pray and you have to believe that God is hearing you. You have to believe that God is going to answer you. And you have to do what Renelle said. You have to trust in the plan of God. Listen, the Bible declares that God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. The Bible says, as far as the east is from the west, that's how far God's plan is from ours. But we have to trust his plan. And his plan may look totally different than what we view or what we saw or what we want. It's going to be different. But if you know God, you know that he has never failed you before. And he won't start now. His plan is right. His plan is good, even in the most uncomfortable place. Even in the most comfortable place. Sharon, if you would put the ways to give, let that scroll across the screen. I want you all to do that while we're talking. You can sow your seed now. Whatever seed you want to be a blessing with, you can do that now. So he goes on in verses 8 and 9 and says, yes, believe it or not, this is the message from God of the angel armies, Israel's God. Now watch this. He said, don't let all those so-called preachers and know-it-alls who are all over the place there take you in with their lies. Don't pay any attention to the fantasies they keep coming up with to please you. I love the Message Bible. He says they are a bunch of liars preaching lies and claiming I sent them. I never sent them. Believe me. That's what God said. Denise, good evening. Look, when God has a plan for you, and remember, I told you all that this plan contained 70 years of captivity that God said, the God of the Bible said, you're going to be in captivity for 70 years. And these he called them so-called preachers in the Message Bible. These prophets that they call themselves are saying, no, I don't see that. I hear 3 years. Lying, just lying. Prophet lying. They prophet lying, y'all. Because they were saying what the people wanted to hear. Of course, if 70 verses 3, man, I'll take the 3 years for 200, Alex. But God said not so. Nope. It's going to be 70 years. And he said the people, these so-called prophets that are telling you that it's only going to be a short while, he says they are lying. I did not send them. My people, you, I'm talking to. See, this is why it's not good to eat off everybody's table. Because listen, I love God, I love church, I do. But I don't run the church to church to get a word and all. I don't do all of that. Because all these people, I don't care how big their name is, all these people ain't sent from God. You have to be careful who table you eat off of. Because see, had the Jews not received this letter from Prophet Jeremiah, they could have very well possibly believed the false prophets and had been hoping for a release in a short amount of time. But God said, I didn't send them. I ain't told them nothing. He said they are, in fact, a bunch of liars preaching lies, claiming that I sent them. But God said he ain't have nothing to do with that. I want you all to, if you whatever church you're in, if you there because you want to be there, I need you to stay rooted and grounded right there, unless God tells you to move or go somewhere. Because we doing too much, and everybody a prophet, and everybody apostle, everybody. No. Listen to your own leadership. Okay, just thought I'd throw that out there. He goes on in verse number 10, and we're about done. In verse number 10, he says, this is God's word on the subject. As soon as Babylon's 70 years are up, and not a day before, I will show up and I will take care of you as I promised and bring you back home. He promised them that he was going to take care of them. And God always keeps his promises. He always keeps his promises. I don't care how long it takes. I'm telling you that God is going to keep his promise to you. Has he made you any promises? He made me some. I have some promises that I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to them because I know that what he promised me is going to happen. It's going to happen. Why do I know that? I told you a few minutes ago, Renelle said it, and I'm repeating it. We have to trust the plan of God. And a part of God's plan includes God's promises. And he's made you some promises. He's made me some promises. Listen, they used to say back in the day, he is no shorter than his word. His promises are true, and they are going to come to pass in your life and in my life. But we've got to trust God's plan. Apostles Kurt and Linda are on. So glad to see you guys. Thank you for being on with us tonight. That's right, Sandy. That's one of my favorite songs by Hezekiah Walker. They sing, all of my life, I've never known you to fail. You remain the same, and wonderful is your name. Yep. So God's plan includes God's promises. But you have to remember, come on, Charlotte. Yes, his track record is good. Yes, he's got a perfect track record without flaw, without blemish. So he says in verse number 10, he says that 70 years and not a day before in the Message Bible, he says, I'm going to show up. I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. I am coming to get you, and I'm going to pull you out of this situation. I'm going to pull you out of depression. I'm going to pull you out of sadness. I'm going to pull you out of grief. I'm going to pull you out of sickness. Whatever Babylon whatever Babylon is in your life, whatever that thing is that's hurting you, that causes you suffering, that's causing you pain, that's your own Babylon. But God says, if you can hold on and trust me and believe in my plan, trust my process, trust the plan that I have for you, he says, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, and I'm going to take good care of you, because he's a good father, right? And that was the promise that he made to the Jews. And that's the same promise that he's making to you and I tonight. I'm coming for you, and I'm going to take care of you, and I will bring you back. He said, I'm bringing you back home to where you belong. And then we get to shout verse number 11, because I know what I'm doing. God said, I know the plans that I have for you. You may not know, but I know myself. God said, I know what my plans are for you. He said, I planned it all out. I got it all mapped out. And that's the part we have to trust, because we don't know what he's doing sometimes. We don't know the secrets. We don't know the mysteries. We don't know all of the ins and outs of what he does. He's God. He's sovereign. Come on. We don't know what he's doing. We have to walk by faith, the Bible says, and not by sight. We have to walk believing everything that he said. Even when it don't look good, even when it don't feel good, even though we have our own Babylons to deal with, we have to trust him and remember that he said, I know what I'm doing. I know the plans that I have for you. He says good stuff, he said. Good things. He said, I have it all planned out, plans to take care of you and not abandon you. Isn't that good news? God said, I'm not going to leave you in this situation. I'm not leaving you in your own personal Babylon. I'm not leaving you. I'm coming for you. I got a plan. He says, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to take care of you. And I have plans to give you the future that you hoped for. Goodness gracious. The very thing that you want for yourself, the things that you want for your children. Come on. I'm talking to somebody tonight. The things you want for your kids, for your grandkids, for your family. God says, I got it. He says, I'm going to give you, if you trust my plan, I'm going to give you the future that you hoped for. That's enough to shout right there. Because I can't see that far down the road. I can't see, but I trust the God of the Bible, that he is going to take care of me just as he promised. And what did we say a few minutes ago? God always, not sometime, not when he feel like it, not if he in a good mood. That's not God. God's not fair weather. He always keeps his promises. We have to trust God's plan. We have to trust God's plan. We have to trust God's plan, even if it includes suffering. Because sometimes, remember, we talked about that. Sometimes God's plan includes suffering, and we have to take it. The Bible says we have to endure hardness as a good soldier, right? God's going to come for you. For I know the plans that I have for you, saith the Lord. Good plans, not to leave you, not to hurt you, not to harm you. He says, but to bring you to an expected end, the future that you hope for, the Message Bible says. God's plan. Amen. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick message tonight. If you will, we want you to sow into the ministry if you can. Whatever seed you would like to sow, just sow it into the ministry. Our Cash App is there, W. Taylor Ministries. Our PayPal is there, WT Ministries 3. Our Venmo is there at the self-checkout show. And of course, Apple Pay. You can use my very own phone number to send Apple Pay. If you need Zelle, just let me know. Inbox me, text me. I will make sure you have the Zelle. We want you to sow tonight into the ministry. We have some amazing things happening. We thank God for it. And we trust his plan. We trust the plan of God. Don't forget, next week we'll be back on Wednesday. So you won't hear back from the show until next week on Wednesday, back on our regular night. And we're going to be talking about prophetic dreams and people who have prophetic dreams and how that whole thing works in involving interpretation of dreams and everything. So we want you to make sure you tune in next Wednesday night. And don't forget, SDMI, if you're on, those of you that are on, don't forget that we are celebrating our leaders this coming Sunday at 9 a.m. at the Oak Brook Church and at 3 p.m. at the Kenosha Church. So we're going to have an amazing day of celebration this coming Sunday, all day long. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching tonight, for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's dinner time, so it's time to get out of here. I wish all of you Godspeed and hold on to the promises of God. Trust God's plan. All right? Love you guys, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday night. Take care.